So, more to say about this unit? Absolutely loads to say about this unit. Crazy. The number of buttons on this is unbelievable. It is one of probably, it's been my highlight of any tape deck that I've got, and I've got crazy amounts of tape decks. A lot of them I don't even use, but it's just one of those things, because the history, you gotta just have them. So, crazy, we've got the usual tape selection there, equalization settings, Dolby. I don't know about you guys, I never really enjoyed recording or playing things with Dolby on, any type of Dolby. As you can see, this unit only has B and C. Of course, there were two other types that were created later on, as you guys would know. One of them is a headroom expansion, HX Pro, and of course finishing all with S, which is a Sony developed situation altogether. So here, I think we've got Dolby. Let me see, the lighting is pretty bad. This is where some guy says something funny about my finger again, I'm sure. Dude, don't. Got Dolby off. That's BC tab, that doesn't matter, I've got that off. MPX and subsonic, MPX was developed for recording straight off FM or radio to basically reduce excess noise. I believe that excess noise is not really a problem unless you've got, unless the source is not great. If the source is not great or if it's terribly hissy, that's when recording or playing back with Dolby. I always found that Dolby really stifles the sound by cutting off all high frequencies, which obviously is his purpose, but it's not something that I've always been. I think if you've got a good tape and you've got a good source, CD, a good record maybe, or maybe even another cassette, which is excellent quality, then there should not be a problem. This even has a little thing for auto fade. So if you're recording and if you want to pause, but you want it to fade out, rather than turn the equalization level down, not the equalization, the actual record level down slowly by yourself, doing it manually. If you want it to be done at a preset rate, say 5 seconds before it goes to automatic pause, you can do that here. And this is not really offered in tape decks, even towards the end of the entire tape scenario. So this has got music search, which is already built up. See the master fader down, master fader up. So those are the ways you can bring the next song in. If you want to fade that in, or if you want to fade the one you're... So master fade down will eventually stop in a pause situation. Master fade up will take you out of pause and fade up as it goes up. And then once it hits the normal level, it's done. It's crazy. It's crazy. It depends how long you may have grown up with cassettes. I grew up with cassettes almost all my life, so I remember putting these things into car tape decks. Car tape decks being pretty nasty things usually. Home tape decks also were pretty terrible at one time. For anyone to see a tape deck like this, I remember that's when we were kids, or even when we were teenagers, your mouth will just drop if you see something that opens like this. That's just crazy. That's crazy. Look at that. The entire thing just spins by itself to change size rather than the head rotating or having a like a dual-sided head, which usually had an azimuth problem. Azimuth is the angle and the position by which the tape deck head makes contact with the cassette reel itself, and that has an enormous thing to say about the quality of music that comes out. Usually, kind of bastardized nicely by things like Dolby and such things to try and compensate for a problem that really should be solved by changing the tape head angulation and calibration. So anyway, we're going to try and pause this here and try and upload this and see if you guys want to know more about something like this, or if you're into other things like I've got a couple of Pioneers, the high-end ones towards the 91 and 93, CT 93, 91. Those I think were the epitome of cassette decks, as far as I'm concerned. I know you guys are probably talking about the Tandem, or maybe the Nakamichi CR7, which was an amazing cassette deck, still is. Or maybe you like the other types that came out, the Kenwoods. There were some crazy ones there too. But home tape decks were always, in my mind, epitomized by Nakamichi. One of the rare things. Another weird things, Pioneer and Marantz. You got a Marantz relatively new one. Look at this, they have a beautiful metal 3D logo. Nakamichi never ever did that really. Nakamichi is just a very discreet little logo, usually on the top right, which is quite different. Because you normally get it centralized these days, or you get it on the left. But in Nakamichi's, the model number was always on the left. And the actual logo was discreetly displayed in very understated lettering on the top right. So these are the little things, and even the architecture of this, look at this, there's no reason for this thing here to stick out, is there? Like a little biscuit. But they made it so there's a reason for it. And the reason is design. They cared about what their product looked like as well as functioned as. Although these days people only remember Nakamichi for the high level of performance, I think some of their models had a certain design element that are terribly lacking in the things these days. If you look at the Skybox, that's a very good example of how something can suck terribly. Or, Pioneer went the other way with their DVD players and such, Blu-ray players, to keep it as understated as possible. Something to be said, but I belong to a different era. So I hope you do too. By watching this, I think you've proven you are. Thank you for watching.